and achieving more. Telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Hello and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I am Dr. Judy, your radio show host, and I am going to skip a lot of stuff today because I really want to get into the reason why I'm here, to get these candidates heard, and that's what I really want to do. And I open it up like this because I want you to hear the candidates. I want you to hear the vision, the why, and their plans in the first 100 days. And so I want to thank everybody for being on, and everybody who would come on. I want to thank you so very much for joining in to the show. And do me a favor, go ahead and text, email, share, whatever you need to do to get others on so they can hear. I have two guests today, and I'm going to start off with it is so funny. I have been trying to pronounce his name. I even put it in chat GPT, Google AI.
So help me.
But I'm gonna let you do it. And so I know the first name, y'all. And so, but what the guest is gonna do, both of them today happen to be running for the Tallahassee City Commission seat 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Both of them are running for that today. And so my guest will be giving our community a flat-footed look at why they're running, their vision, and their strategies for the first 100 days in office if elected. But I've given everybody this very important rule, and I want y'all to hear it as well. There will be no bashing or calling out other candidates' name on the show. That is not what this show is for. We're not here to tear down. I want you to hear them, okay? And so y'all gonna bear witness to this. If they happen to do it,
oh, no.
I have a police officer who's gonna come and escort them out of my studio while we are live. Now that's gonna go viral.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you. But my first guest, a man that I've just recently met since he started running. Haven't had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him,
right.
But I watch your Facebook page. I love your godly principles. So my first guest, y'all, is Mr. Tom
Durzapolsky.
Durzapolsky.
It's a crazy name, isn't it?
All right, I just let you have it.
I love it. Well,
Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pastor Judy, I'm grateful that you make time for me and the candidates. I think this is an excellent service to the community. We need people to understand who they're voting for and the principles they stand for, the vision they have for the community. And I think an important question that you've asked is why you want to serve. You know, what motivates people to do this?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to talk with you and to talk with your audience.
And right before we get into
sure.
your why, Tom, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I grew up in a middle-income home, 2 parents. My dad worked. He's the primary breadwinner, as they say. But there were many times, most of my life, Mom would have to wait tables, or like she worked at Gaffer's when I was growing up here in Tallahassee, right? Gaffer's back, wow. Right? And lots of meals at Morrison's cafeteria. I still miss Morrison's, man.
Me too.
But anyway, but what I learned at home, right, was we didn't have fancy things. We didn't have extra money, but parents provided always. But they instilled in us a sense of service and the idea that if you want something, pursue it with your heart, your mind. And if the Lord has that in your path, then it will manifest itself. And so as a kid, if we wanted the fancy bicycle, we knew that we had a lawnmower and we could go around the neighborhood and cut lawns or set up a car wash in the corner. So I just thought that's how life was. I watched Mom and Dad always serving at church, always serving in the community. And I thought that that was a part of everyone's home, and that was a part of being an adult. I didn't know.
Okay.
My grandmother told us you have two hands. One should be sufficient to serve yourself, and the other is committed to the service of the Lord,
Oh, wow.
but through that, the community, right?
Okay.
Out of high school, I joined the Navy because a few things. All the men in my family had served in the service, and I always kind of respected that and wanted to serve. And I also needed the GI Bill to go to school because I didn't have a college fund. We didn't have that kind of money.
Okay.
So I served in the Navy for 8 years, came home to Tallahassee, went to Tallahassee State College, then Florida State University. And like I tell folks, all the way through college, I worked from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Then I got off work at 7 a.m. I went to a construction site and cleaned up trash. I went to TSC or FSU around 10 or 11 for class, got off at 4 in the afternoon, studied, went to bed, woke up at 10, did it again. I'm not complaining about that, but
Right.
the reason I mention that is in a political campaign, people want to try to box you in. That's an elite. He's raised too much money. He's done this. But I can tell you that one of my opponents said, "How'd you do so well so fast?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, in a very short few weeks, you raised as much money as we all got together." And I said, "It took 25 years.
Wow.
So long before I asked anybody for anything, I was giving and serving. And I think what that allowed people on the Red Cross, a good board, this village, all these ministries. And I've met people like you in the community that say, "Hey, Tom, we're doing a backpack drive. We're doing this." And I've just been the guy who shows up. And if I have the capacity to give money, I give money. If I have time, I give time, or both. And so what I tell folks is when people see how you operate before you're trying to get elected, then when I stepped into the arena, my phone calls were very easy. "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, I'm entering the race. What can we do for you? What do you need?" And I said, "I need to raise money. How much do you need?" And I said, "I'm new to this, as much as you can give." And people gave generously. And I'm very grateful for that. So my background, it involved a lot of hard work and sweat, but service has always been a part of my life. And to me, this is it's a different kind of service. I think you should look at it that way. It's not you, but I think people should look at public office as going in to serve your community. That's it. So.
Yeah. And I think that is a good point because that's exactly what it is,
Mm-hmm.
service. And one of the groups I'm a part of says service before the agency.
Right.
People first.
Absolutely.
And that's what people want to know.
Yeah.
We need real people in these seats.
Yes, ma'am.
And people who can really understand and who will not fake the people, not manipulate the people. We're looking for honest, real people.
Yeah.
Because that's why I don't want to hear anything else. I just want to know background, why, your vision, your strategy, because I want to know the heart of those who will be serving us.
Sure.
Someone's going to be elected.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So we need to hear the heart. Interesting background.
Yeah.
And I love that what your grandmama said.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to use
You got
that.
to. And she also said you got two. I don't think she created this quote because I've seen it somewhere else, but she would say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use them in that proportion. And listen more than you speak. Right?
I like that.
Well, one of the things, Pastor Judy, that I think there are things that move your mind. You see opportunity for a community as a business person and looking at things critically, but there are things that move your heart. And I think that it's important that you listen to both. And when serving on the Red Cross, we were in neighborhoods doing what's called sound the alarm. And we go door to door on a Saturday morning in our poorest neighborhoods and knock on the doors and say, "Hey, we're here to install a free smoke detector." And there's a few things I observed about that. We wearing our Red Cross vest. You got one partner. We're pulling a buggy full of smoke detectors. And people open the door, and these communities are terribly suspicious of people who say they're there to help. And what I observed is for decades, they've been told somebody's going to help them. Somebody's going to improve the neighborhood. Somebody's going to help utility bills. Somebody's going to improve crime. This is free, but it's not. And once you connected and we convinced them, we said, "Hey, we're not going to ask you for any money. We are here to serve you, period." We would go into the home And one of us would get a step ladder and install the smoke detector at no charge. And the other would sit with whatever adult was in the home, as a grandma, a mother, an aunt, a father. And we would sit on the couch and go through a safety plan. Hey, just wanted you to know, here's some tips for the winter because the heaters, yada, yada. And here's the heart move. And I had seen people struggle before, but I was sitting on the couch talking to, I believe, the grandmother of the house. And the cutest little girl walks down the hall. And this is a Black neighborhood that I'm in. And listen, I don't think we should hide from things. When we're in the poor neighborhoods, it is the Black community that's struggling.
Right.
I mean, we do have poor white working class. We do have Hispanic populations. We have more immigrants in our community. But by and large, the people that are struggling and have been neglected are these families. And I'm sitting there and I see the cutest little girl come down the hallway in her nightgown. And I know you got grandkids. I got them too. I got 2 grandkids. And it's a Saturday morning, and she comes and she walks into the kitchen, and right in front of me here is a refrigerator. And she opens the refrigerator and she's standing there. Now, you know, with your grandkids, and I know with my boys and grandkids, they stand in front of that fridge, and I always say, hey, shut the fridge. You're letting all the cold air out, you know, and utility bills are high. And so being a dad, I noticed that she was lingering in front of the refrigerator. And I'm talking to grandma, looking over there, and she's cute as a button. And then I looked beyond her into the refrigerator, and there was nothing in that refrigerator but light and like ketchup. And as a father, I mean, I sometimes get choked up thinking about this. As a father, it broke my heart that this little girl woke up just like my kids do. My kids went to a refrigerator that is full of food, and they're picky. I don't want that.
Right.
This morning, I made them bacon and eggs, and they complained. Imagine. What? I know. And so you got some that have bountiful and abundance, and then you have others that struggle. Right. And I saw her shut the refrigerator and go back and play like everything was okay. And I went home and I told Stephanie, I said, wow, this is not okay. This is happening. We do missions around the world. We support going to South America and Africa, bringing the gospel to people. But right here, this is here. Like, you could walk to these neighborhoods. Right. And so that I believe that we had to do better. And one of the things I saw with our government is when our government is not functioning well, for personality conflicts, for management, for whatever the dynamics are, presumably you and I are okay, right? So it might be frustrating, annoying, but when City Hall is broken, the people who suffer the most are the people who desperately need it to work, right? Right. So that was something, that really moved me.
So there are 6 qualified candidates, and I think I'm hearing your heart already.
Oh, yeah.
But there are 6 qualified candidates seeking City Commission seat 3 in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's a big race.
Why are you running?
Well, so to take very seriously the fact that we have the poorest zip code in the state of Florida, that we have a real gun violence problem, and that we need some serious leadership. And I'm not diminishing the leadership of others that they provide. But what I said this just yesterday with someone, we see in the Bible that there's a time and a place for leaders. And I'm not saying I'm trying to follow the Lord's guidance in my life. I'm not saying I'm the Savior. I'm not claiming that I'm going to fix everything. But when I look at history, I see there were moments in time when that was the right leader for that time. And my gifts are being a unifier, a healer, compassionate, patient. I'm not emotional about things. I'm very difficult to offend. I mean, you mess with my wife and kids, I get a little.
I know that's a whole.
I get spicy.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, but you can't upset me over policy issues. So this particular seat, because of our 3-2 dynamic that seems to float around, and the behavior of some groups, I think it's exactly where I need to be to say, hey, we're going to change the tone of things. There's a different way to do business. And my big shtick that I care about very much is, as an example, this phone may or may not be affordable, but it matters how much money you make, right? So when we talk about affordability, everybody always talks about the cost of rent, but nobody's addressing that we don't have good jobs or wages that a family can live off of. And so I would like to see us be aggressive with economic development, go and attract companies to our community to create jobs, to support the business community that currently create jobs, help them grow and expand and hire and train, take care of people like Lively Technical College and some of the others. So economic development's a huge thing. And then I would tell you, meeting the needs that our community currently has. I believe I've served on most of them, the safety nets, the boards, the nonprofits that are serving our community. We should expand their capacity by engaging our partners at FSU and FAMU and TSC in a more meaningful way, having them be on our boards, having them be more connected and into the community. But one of the very first things that I want to endeavor upon, you mentioned the 100 days, I don't want to skip ahead, but it's sort of a nice bridge here, is our community sold its hospital, all right? And for the next 30 years, we're receiving payments, $3.7 million a year for the next 30 years. Because that was our hospital, and I'm not getting into how it happened or none of that, we should dedicate $1 million a year to Bond, Neighborhood Health Services, CarePoint. There's others that are doing incredible work in the healthcare space for those that need indigent care, or those with communities that struggle with chronic disease, or just have trouble, paying their bills. And I know these organizations are doing incredible work. We've done a ton of pro bono work, not so much for Bond, but Neighborhood Health. And I want to collaborate with the other elected officials and with staff and say, we're not raising taxes. We're receiving this money from the sale of a hospital that did this for our community. It makes sense that we dedicate $1 million a year to support these organizations that are caring. I also believe, and here's where you have to think through things, that people will say, well, FSU's already committed to provide this kind of care. And I will tell you, I'm excited about that. And I'm going to trust their word. And I believe the leadership in the hospital cares about people, right? And FSU. We don't have villains here, right? That was a messy business transaction. But in the heart, I believe they care about this community. They can continue to provide indigent care, and they should, and they've committed to it. But we're also going to take $1 million and put it towards these organizations. I believe that we can get the support to do that, and I think it's something that community would rally behind. So for that's $30 million.
Right.
I mean, that's a big deal. So that's to get that up and going and start immediately telling the people that change is here and we are going to do better as a community, I think is achievable in 100 days.
Okay.
Myself.
Oh, it sounds like it could work, especially if all of the candidates, well, then it'd be the elected officials. If you're elected, will get behind it or get with it, and you all sit and work out a plan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking to happen with this. It's going to be some new commissioners on there.
Sure.
And we're going to have a new mayor.
Yeah.
So I am hoping that whoever's elected will sit and really consider and really come up with a great strategic plan.
Yes.
That will really help the people in the city.
Yeah.
Especially our poorest, undeserved people. Because like you said, Tom, matter of fact, when I left my daycare, the cabinet is full. And one of the little boys said, Pastor Judy, what are we having today? Pizza, hot dog, beef and roni? What are we having?
Right.
Because they know they're having something.
Yes.
And what they have at home, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come in there, they know they're going to have breakfast, lunch, and a good dinner snack.
Yeah.
To go home.
Fill up their bellies.
So they know that.
Yeah.
But at home, I'm not sure what they know.
I know.
And so we can get our elected officials doing that. That would be good. So what is your overall vision?
Well, I think when we grow our economy, when we have good paying jobs, I believe people want to work. They will work. Mm-hmm. Since the beginning of time, every village, community, city, I would go way back and go to the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. We've always had certain folks that don't do, right? They could have addiction, they could have a mental health issue, or they could just be lazy. And I bet every family has that cousin or somebody who's always kind of asking for something, right?
We all do.
Get a job. But I believe really that the spirit of people that want to be able to be independent, to buy what they want, to be stable, and if we could give them the opportunity to have those jobs, if we can create an environment where people look at Tallahassee and say that's a friendly place to do business, They operate at the speed of business. They want us to come there. It's a change in culture so that it's not this opposition to everything new, opposition to bringing companies here and growing, but recognizing that you could keep the character of your community, you can keep your trees, you can keep your canopy roads, you can have affordable housing, you can have more jobs. And I think for politics, or maybe just people not really thinking clearly over the past 20 years, we've been told it's either or.
Okay.
Right? Like we either stay who we are, what we love, or we change. And that's not true. We can stay who we are. We can stay true to what we are as a community and grow.
And grow. And that's what change is about.
It is. It is. So I'd like to see us do that together. And I think back to the bringing people together and helping heal the commission, and that everybody has to participate, man. It's not magic. I can pray all day about it, but you still go in, you got to have a heart that's willing, right? I want to see us as a body have publicly noticed meetings without staff. Okay. It's difficult because of sunshine laws that are very important. Operating transparently and openly is always important. But if the only time you're addressing an issue is on the dais when the cameras are rolling and the people protesting in the audience or advocating or whatever it is they're celebrating are in their colored t-shirts coming after you, all of a sudden everybody's posturing. Oh, every word you say matters. You got to figure this out. You got to be nervous. I would like to see us as a body get together in rooms where folks can come and listen to us talk about it. I want to know, as an example, we'll talk about the people not up for election. I want to know what Commissioner Richardson would like to accomplish in his next 2 years and how I could help him accomplish it. Because what I know is the community sent him there to serve.
Exactly.
They've sent him to the Senate. They've sent him, I think it might have been county committee. I mean, he's served in education. He's got a diverse background. He's a capable guy.
Right.
And I want him to be able to say, Tom, I'd really like to do the following. Here's why. And then I want to look at Jack Porter and say, Jack, you're young, you're smart, you're a leader. The people have elected you twice, maybe more times. In your next few years, what do you want to accomplish? And so I can understand and let them know, I'm not there to oppose. I'm not the new three. I'm not there to change the two, but help them achieve. And whoever our mayor becomes, and if Commissioner Williams-Cox gets reelected or however that shakes out, to understand what they want to do and let them know that I'm a willing participant. And then be able to share with them what I care about. So when I say, hey, Curtis, this company's coming to town, will you go with me to the airport to greet them? That he knows, man, I was going to lunch with my friend, but I know this is important to Tom. Yeah, I'll come with you. Tom,
I believe that would be good.
Yeah.
If you all can come together like that, I love it. That really is strategic planning.
Yes, ma'am.
You sit down and you find the heart of the other candidate, elected officials, and you all sit down and without everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know that going now, but without everybody, you all sit down, bring it together, you strategizing, and when you all come out in the front of us, you're a unified force.
Yeah. And listen, I believe I've never been elected, so I will take the counsel of the lawyers and the ethics people.
Yeah.
But what I understand is that we can take out a big room in City Hall where they have some of the workshops. You notice it to the public where they're invited to sit. It can be recorded so that things are open, but it just changes the temperature so that you're not being forced into a decision. You're just having a casual conversation. I want to know, and I asked about this. I don't know how I can pull this off because I would need to ask a lawyer, but I said after November when unless everybody gets elected in August or whatever, I said, me and Steph would love to host dinner for all the elected officials and their significant other of the House. And there will be no business talk, and we will do things above board if it has to be publicly noticed, fine, or whatever. But we'll bring the attorney if we need to. But I want to know about Diane's grandkids. Yeah. I think Jack has a cat, or maybe two, or I heard she might have been engaged. I adore, because I'm a Navy guy, that Curtis has daughters who have been to the Naval Academy. Two. How did that happen? What was that like? How proud are you? I've never been to Annapolis. Tell me about it. And I think if we begin to see each other as human beings, and they see that I'm a passionate dad, whatever they think they saw on the campaign trail. You know what they do, Pastor Judy? Wow. They go to campaign reports and they look and say, oh, that executive gave him money or that nonprofit gave him money, then they judge you.
Yeah.
But they need to sit with you and understand who you are.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
We can do it. We can do it.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that. My time is almost out, but
gotcha.
What is your, and I know I probably should have given you all an hour, but then I wouldn't have been able to get everybody.
No,
and
it's so much
really
to say.
wanted to hear the heart of your vision,
Mhm.
your whys,
Yeah.
the strategy for the first 100 days. That's what I really wanted to hear.
Right.
And so instead of going through all of the other stuff,
Yeah.
I wanted to hear that.
Well, this has
So,
been
Tom,
different.
what is your strategy for the first 100 days you are elected?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Listen, I think back to what my grandmother said about the ears and the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a period of discovery, discernment, and listening. And I will promise the people of Tallahassee, if you have a community center, a church hall, a business, then I will be on a tour of this community like nobody's ever seen, saying, talk to me. Look, I made it. Thank you for your support. Or if you didn't, I'm here to serve you anyways. Talk about what's going on here. And now listen, I've been serving the community for 25 years. I've been in all the neighborhoods. I've been in all the community centers. But as an elected, taking a fresh look and making sure that people know they have access to you, when you make those observations and you start identify the right people to bring to the table to get that $1 million for indigent care, you get the right people to help address gun violence. You have a new idea from somebody they hadn't heard from. So I think the first 100 days are going to be a lot of collaboration with the community and a commissioner who's going to be in the neighborhoods. I mean, I hope to spend more time in your neighborhood and the listeners' neighborhoods than I do sitting behind a desk at City Hall. There's nothing happening in City Hall. The people are outside, you know.
Tom, take 1 minute, 2 minutes, and give your final remarks to the audience.
Yeah. So listen, I have a crazy last name, and it's Dursey Polsky. When you look at the ballot, you'll see Tom, and I really hope someday when I'm serving, I'll be Commissioner Tom. That would make me, I'd be happy with that. Because what terrifies me is I don't want to walk into a room and just ask you to stand up and wave. I just want to go quietly serve and do work. I don't want a parking spot. I didn't even know that they were paid when I filed to run. I thought you got a stipend or something. There's actually a salary with it. And we're going to do something special with that, but that comes for later. But I want people to know that I genuinely want to serve this community, and I have a heart for it. I know that I'm the person for this time. There are great people in this race, man. We've got, in some ways, it's hard for Tallahassee to fail here. But I think you look at the individual and say, I think this is the time we need that type of skill. My website is tom4tallahassee.com, and that's spelled out FOR, so tom4tallahassee.com. You can fill out a form and reach out to me. And I don't have a big staff. I don't have a machine behind me. So I'm calling you. I'm responding to your email. I'm coming to meet you for coffee. But I would welcome the opportunity to earn people's vote and trust. And I'm committed to making sure that we have a true servant in that seat.
Wow. Tom, thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a
Thanks
pleasure.
for having me.
Oh,
thank
you. Thank you for being on. I greatly appreciate it.
You run a good operation. This is professional. I mean, it was like from before to showing up to execution. This was good.
Thank you so very much. Now, I'm going to do something that I usually do at the end, but because you're going to leave,
yes, ma'am.
I'm going to do this right live. Doc D, can you come take a picture of me and Tom, please? I'm going to do it right here on
awesome.
right here on the station. I want them to see. I appreciate your comment, and I got to know you.
Yes, awesome. Thanks.
I hadn't talked to you, but I got to know you.
Perfect.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so very much,
Pastor.
Mr.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well, y'all heard Mr. Tom, and y'all know his last name. I can't.
I'll leave y'all figure that out. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom. But I want to thank him and thank y'all for tuning in. So y'all go ahead. This ain't the end. That was just Mr. Tom going off. And now I'm getting ready for my next listener. I'm transitioning to my next guest, and he's about to come in now. So y'all just take it easy. I'm going to have a short mini break. And those of you who are still on Facebook, you get to see this as Mr. Early come in. Mr. Hurley, I think it is. But y'all, thank y'all so very much. Y'all go ahead and tune, get other people to join in because we are live here. and I know we're trying to do whatever, but I want to hear the guest's heart. I want to hear the heart of the guest. I want to hear them speak, hear them talk. I'm not getting into any of. There you are, Mr.
Hey.
Max. How you doing, sir?
Good. Good
Yeah.
to see you. Sorry, my hands are a little
Welcome. That's all right. Come on up here. Come on up some
cold.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I record the this as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. It's also on Facebook. If you want to go to the Real Talk with Judy live show.
Oh, cool. You can hear us right now. Yeah. Cool. Very good.
Max, how are you?
Good.
Get to your mic, man, so I can
Mm-hmm.
put it up. Look at it, y'all. He coming here acting like a little pro, and he's a little. Max, I'm so glad to have you. So glad to have you today on my show. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. As you know, I just put it on Facebook and reached out because I wanted to give every candidate the same opportunity of being heard. So as I did, and y'all, this is Max Hurley. I said it correctly?
Yes. Yeah.
Max Hurley. And one of the things I can honestly say about Max, every time I've seen him, look at the audience. Look at it. He got that smile on his face. Every time I've seen it, no matter where he is, what he's doing, he always have that smile on him. You have one of the most beautiful smiles to me. So thank you. But y'all, he's also running for the Tallahassee City Commission seat 3. And Max, I want to welcome you to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. But this is a very important rule that I'm giving to everybody. But it said there will be no bashing or calling out other candidates' name on the show. Okay. If that happens, I have a police officer.
Okay.
He's gonna come in here and escort you out live. Okay. And guess what? It's going viral.
That's right.
Now, if you want to make me go viral, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know. But we ask that not be done because I'm not really interested in how you feel about other candidates. My interest, Max, is I want to know your why you're running. I want to know your vision. I want to know what strategy you have for the first 100 days. So we're going to get into that, okay? And I want you to tell the audience, first of all, and so I can know too. I haven't had the opportunity to sit down and talk with you either. But I want to thank you for coming to our church. I think you came to our church before you got on the ballot. But you show up for us, and I want to thank you for that. You come to our church, and that's before you run. So I want to thank you for that. So very much. But in the meantime, Matt, tell the audience in short synopsis about who you are.
Yeah. Hey everyone, my name is Max Hurley. I'm running for Tallahassee City Commission seat 3. This is my first time on the Judy Mandrell show. I've been to Hallelujah before, but first time here. We entered this race about a year ago because I want to heal my hometown. What does that mean? I want to heal our governmental, political, and civic class. We see so much arguing going on in our community. And meanwhile, it feels like we've had the same 5 or 10 issues for the past 15 years. What issues do we mean by that? The only thing that has changed about our violent crime problem is that everyone has become more comfortable in accepting that. We still do not have an art center in town. We still do not have stuff for the kids to do during the day to stay out of trouble. We still know that there's so much need for grocery stores in Frenchtown and the South Side. We still see mismanagement at the city on things like the HUD doors and certain neighborhoods not being prioritized in the way that we know that they should be. As the only Democrat, lifelong Democrat in this race, there's one other lifelong Democrat in the race. But my point is that I do think that, people ought to know the track record of people in this community. And that means that we didn't just show up yesterday, that we've been involved in this community, been doing this work for a long time. And for me, it's really a continuation of the work that I've done in this community for a very long time. Just like you spent your whole life and career trying to help Tallahassee. And, we know that this community really needs hope right now. Frankly, the whole country needs hope right now. It's a time when it feels like there is 2 classes of people in this country now. It feels like there's the billionaires and the millionaires and the people who have, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And by the way, that everybody else still is everybody. It still includes you. Even if you got a new car, even if you just bought your first home, even if you make $150,000 a year, we are all the working class. And trust me, we are all getting, not treated very well by this millionaire and billionaire class. And we are all impacted by it, even if you feel like you live comfortably now. We've seen how much worse this has gotten in the past 10 years. And I'm describing a systemic problem right now. So how does this relate to the city? How does this relate to Tallahassee? We see these same kind of dynamics playing out locally. What do I mean by that? We see it when our firefighters don't get paid enough and they're dragged out months and months and months on contract negotiations. We see this with our classroom teachers, same kind of thing. They're right now, I think right now, this exact moment, they're in negotiations, trying to get a fair wage before the school year starts. Because last year when that happened, they were getting retro pay and they weren't even able to get paid by that. Why am I talking about a school board issue? Because I think these issues are interrelated. It's about the leaders in our community and the values that they stand for. And I've been proud to stand with organized labor time and time again in my career, because I believe that the only thing that is stands between us and being able to create the future that we need and want is organizing ourselves as a working class to try to fight for higher wages and better living conditions.
What's some of your background, Max?
Yeah, so I was born and raised here in Tallahassee.
Okay, and let me correct you on that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I am not an original Tallahassean. I am from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yeah, the 305.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, not Tallahassee, but I do love Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I'm having the candidates come on, because I want to know the heart of the candidates, because we're getting ready to vote. We have some good people running, and we want to get. I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear, and I know some of the issues that I have, but I want to hear what are there. So,
can I ask you this?
Sure.
When do you remember the moment that you decided to stay in Tallahassee? Because I'm sure at first you weren't saying I'm going to live in Tallahassee the rest of my life.
I
right?
didn't decide to stay in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
I did not like Tallahassee. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale has a lot of things to do. I graduated from FAMU, and look at you just like old politician, man, turning this questioning on to me. But now I'm just messing. But I decided to stay. I didn't decide to stay. I left Tallahassee. I got married. My husband wanted to move back to Tallahassee. That's how I got back to Tallahassee. I felt like there was nothing for me in Tallahassee. There was no out life. There was nothing. I really enjoyed my church. But that was the thing that I liked. I had some friends here, but I wanted to go. I wanted to go back to Fort Lauderdale or Orlando or New York or somewhere, because I felt like they had more to offer. And so when I'm listening to now, I believe Tallahassee has grown, and this is what I do believe. I know we have a lot of shooting, but I found out too a lot of the people doing the shootings aren't from Tallahassee.
Yeah.
They're from Gaston County or somewhere else. That a lot of the citizens of Tallahassee are not doing the shootings. But as a whole, I've grown to love Tallahassee. And I have always thought, I told my husband, we have children, I wouldn't mind raising my children here because it's a little quieter, country. I know everybody fighting about these trees and these canopy roads. I don't like them. So I don't care if they cut all the trees.
Oh, no.
I'm from Fort Lauderdale,
Right.
so I really don't care. However, it is very important to the people in Tallahassee. So I don't argue about that, okay, because it's important. So that's why I'm here in Tallahassee, because now I love it. I love the people. I get the help. And overall, Max, I think we have a pretty good city.
Yeah.
We need work, but I think every city needs work. I think everyone needs work. But as far as it comes from Tallahassee, I believe if our leaders will really work for the heart of the people, and I don't like to see our leaders come in public fighting each other.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I think our leaders should fight in the back room.
Yeah.
And when you come out front, some kind of way you have put together a unified front. That's what I believe. That's like husband. If my husband and I are going to disagree about something, you'll never see us disagreeing in public. that's what I think that the commissioners, the county, all the elected officials should do. But we even have it in our national. I hate arguing and bickering in the front of the people. We didn't put you there to fight for us in public. We put you there to give us a solution. Tell us how you're gonna for the benefit of us. And sometimes we won't understand you, but help us to see at least what you all did to get to this point.
And one of the reasons it's so much fun to run for office because you get to hear so many different perspectives around the community from different leaders. And one of the things I love asking people is, if you had a magic wand and you had like three wishes and you could do anything you wanted in Tallahassee, you address any issue with no concern for cost. What would you do with that? What are the
Let me ask you that question. If you had a magic wand and you had 3 issues that you can address and no cost to you, what would it be? Because that get into what is your vision for Tallahassee? What are you gonna do?
So I've gone around the community over the past year and a half, and I've asked hundreds of people that, and I've heard from people some of the most consistent answers that I get is parents want something for their kids to do.
So what are you gonna do? I want to know right now. I want to know your vision.
I
want you to tell me what is Max gonna do. For number one, tell me why you're running. We got 6 candidates in here. Do we really need 6? I don't know. I mean, everybody get to run if you want to, right? So we could have had 100, right? Am I right? Yeah. So Max, why did you decide to run?
Because I was looking at who was going to run the cycle, and I was thinking about the past 10 years, and I was thinking about all the growth that we have had in the community. By growth, I mean how the community has changed and kind of evolved over the past 10 years in our civic world. And it feels like we have been so dysfunctional with each other, and it has led to us not being able to address these long-standing issues, right? And like the violent crime problem, like having a downtown that leaves a lot to be desired. Like one of the things I've gone around the campaign over the past years, I've asked, if you have friends and family who come to Tallahassee who've never been here before, where do you take them to show them the vibe of Tallahassee? And people will say things, depending on the person, they'll say stuff like, well, we'll go downtown, or we'll go to Midtown, or we'll go, maybe some people say we'll go to Bragg, or we'll go to Doak. But a lot of people say, we'll go to Thomasville. And people say Thomasville because it's walkable, it's cute, there's shops and restaurants and stuff, but we shouldn't have to drive in a car. Everyone should be able to experience a walkable, cute part of town that they can buy stuff that's affordable, that they can access goods and services safely. And so one of the things I want to focus on is making walkable corridors. We know that Tallahassee has great trails, but those trails are for people who really like biking as a hobby and as something that they do to exercise. They're not really functional. You don't really get on any of those trails to access any goods and services. You don't go there for your groceries. You don't go there to have a quicker, safe way to access a doctor. And so I really am interested in working with community leaders from neighborhoods all across the city to say, hey, are you interested in creating a walkable corridor in your area that makes sense to connect your neighborhood to a commercial area and have them all kind of meeting in the middle at Cascades Park?
Sounds good.
I
see that.
And so another thing that we're focused on is reducing your cost. We know that, I was just talking with a member of the radio station out in the lobby, and they were telling me that they drive Uber, they have this job, that food costs are going up. We've seen what's happening with fresh produce all across the country. That's happening because of deregulation, which is happening because of our national politics and all these capitalists coming in here and trying to make money, and they're firing people who used to do things like inspecting fresh produce and groceries. And meanwhile, all of us are getting sick. All of us are having to change our eating habits because of this dysfunctional government. And I know that in Tallahassee, we have such a ability to, things do not have to be this way. And the reason I say that is because in Tallahassee, we believe in something really special. And it's in our public power. What do I mean by that? The lights in this room and the microphone here is coming through publicly owned electricity. Because in Tallahassee, we bought our public power in 1902. There was a company that had made they invested, and then they made a bad bet. They bet against Tallahassee. And the city fathers and mothers came together and they said, you're not just going to leave Tallahassee, we're going to buy you out. And we bought the company from them. And we bought the electric company, we bought the street light company, and that's because in Tallahassee, we believe in public power. We believe in our collective ability to improve our living conditions, to make Tallahassee awesome, and to make Tallahassee affordable. And that's why it's so important that we protect our utilities, because it has the ability to make all of our goods and services more affordable and really do things that other governments wish they could do. So for example, in Tampa right now, they're trying to privatize Duke Energy. We don't have that issue. That means we already have city-owned trucks, city staff with good retirement plans. We don't have to have this private company owned by people on Wall Street who are taking 10, 15, 25% from your utility bill every month. And we know that Tallahassee is really well equipped. So what is the issue? Why is this not actually happening? It's so easy to do. Why is it not happening? Again, I think it's because of this dynamic that we have at City Hall, where it feels like people have no interest and willingness to actually work together and hear from people all across the community.
Wow. You said something. You said the Tallahassee, the Tallahassee mothers and fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And I believe, Max, in this city, I think that's another thing I like about Tallahassee. Because when we need to, we come together, and it is like mother and father. And I believe that if we can sit down and get, and I hate when people say the 3-2. I just want, because I heard somebody was running because they want to stop the 3-2. So what you gonna do? Go to the other 2 to make it 3? It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about getting on that podium when you are elected, and like you're saying some real good things here. I never would have known it if I hadn't talked to you. And I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. I get to talk to you on my radio, so I hadn't had a chance to talk to you outside. But I like some of the things I like the things that you're saying. They seem doable, you know, and to look at your vision and why you want to do it. It sounds like it'll be a good plan.
Yeah.
So and your reason for running, you hadn't said one time that it's just a break. The 3-2, you're coming here with some concrete, doable vision.
Yeah.
That we can see that it can be helped.
And we know that there's something about Tallahassee in this city that feels like that's the key to our success in the future. What do I mean by that? When I say things 15 years ago used to be better, I personally have always really liked Andrew Gillum, and I think that his administration was good. And when we look at the legacy that he left, one of the traditions that I think is awesome that he helped create and enshrine in Tallahassee history.
Yes, you can say that like that. See how nice that was? Charlie, go ahead. Police don't come in here. I got him out. Out there. Police about to come. They were coming in here because you mentioned his name. That's okay. He okay. Go back. All right, go ahead.
He started the longest table. And the longest table is this tradition where they set up a table and they invite everyone from the community to eat. And they encourage you not just sit with your friends, you actually try to mingle and meet people that you don't already know. And, you know, I know it seems small. And I know you might think, oh, it's just conversations. What could that change anything? It's the signals that our leaders send to the community about what they value.
Yes.
Right? If we value attacking each other, if we value not working together, then that's what everyone else in the city sees, right?
Exactly.
If we value actually working together and we try to uplift people who are, and we try to uplift events that give people that opportunity, it turns out that other people actually follow those leaders and take those actions themselves. So I think it's tied to our history in another way, though. In 1822, Florida was a territorial government, and that meant that they did not have a capital established. And so they met for the first time in Pensacola for a session, and then the following year, they met in St. Augustine for a session. And then the next year, in 1824, they got sick of traveling back and forth. So you know what they said?
What they said?
They said, let's meet in the middle. And people from horseback came from St. Augustine and came from Pensacola, and they met at the southern end of the hill between the Capitol and Cascades Park, and they founded Tallahassee. I'm telling you this and sharing this story because I believe that our city is fundamentally built on working together. It is fundamentally built and based upon middle ground. And I believe that only in tapping in to all of us together and not trying to appeal to just one specific part of town are we going to be able to meaningfully move our community forward.
Man, that's great. I like that, Max. And I believe that is honest truth. We all can come together and work for the common good of this city. All of our elected officials, going to have to know that. And so I would love this next commissioner staff to really look at that, because we're bringing in new people. There's going to be new people.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have a mayor, and we seat 3. All of you all, whoever is elected, going to be new, a brand new person.
Can I ask you something?
You love to ask questions, don't you? Go ahead.
How much you pay for your internet bill every month?
And you really think I'm about to tell you that? I'm not.
Okay.
I don't. Well, actually, this is the honest answer. I really don't know. I don't pay bills.
Yeah.
And my husband pay all the bills, so I can't tell you one bill in the house.
So most people pay like 100, 120 right now if they have MetroNet, if they have Comcast.
I don't even know who I have.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So when we talk about the utilities, it's not just your electric, right? It's actually the garbage outside. It's the water when you turn the tap on, and it's also the city handles it when you flush the toilet. And so I believe that the city can make money and save you money by creating an internet municipal service. And so in the same way that we sell you electrics, you sell you power, we sell garbage and water, I would like to offer people in Tallahassee a cheaper internet option, which I believe that we can have a gig speed at $60 a month. For most people, this means saving between $20, $40, $50, $70 a month. And we can provide that cheaper because as the city who has public power, we can use the already existing staff that we have from the utilities. We already got their trucks, they're already trained, we've already got a fiber network. There's a lot of things that we already have that's gonna make that really easy. And when you have the city who does the permitting, they do the electrical setup, they could do the internet setup as well. If you have a small business you wanna open up on Lake Bradford, North Monroe, or whatever, it's a lot easier to go to one place to get everything set up and know that all these entities are talking to each other versus all these different companies that have all these different things, and then you have a deposit for each one, which, by the way, people don't talk about enough how bad all these subscriptions, all these late fees. I mean, you know, I said I was talking to people from the station out in the lobby, and we were talking about how like everybody has 2 and 3 jobs these days. Everybody is, you know, getting paid from side jobs, and it's not an accident. You know, it's what happened when they set up Obamacare is that, which we love Obamacare, right? But one of the things that the companies got and all that, and the corporations, was that they capped it, being required to provide health insurance people at 30 hours. And it's created this that we all know that, you know, nobody works 40-hour jobs anymore because it's so much easier for these companies to make us work for 10 hours a week at, you know, Walmart, and then also have to go work at AutoZone for another 25, and neither one of them somehow is on the hook for unemployment or for healthcare as a result. And we know that we've got to push back on this. And let me tell you, the companies are not going to change this. Nothing is going to change about any of the conditions in this country unless working people begin to organize themselves and demand better.
Wow, that's good, Max. That's good. You're leaving us with things to think about. And I appreciate that very much from you. I appreciate that. I can see that you have done your homework. You know a lot. You know a lot. And as much as I heard you talk before and all this stuff, sitting here listening to you, you got a lot of wisdom, a lot of things to say to us.
That's okay.
I want to ask you, no, you do. And I greatly I am appreciating this moment. Thank you so very much. I want to ask one final question for you, though. What is your strategy for the first 100 days if you're elected?
Yeah, I want to even start before that. So if we go to the runoff, what I hope to do is have a bunch of panels that will a couple days after the primary, we'll send out basically invites to community leaders to be part of community panels that will be live streamed like this, and we'll have everyone, we'll organize around like, oh, this is like a Frenchtown community panel. This is one about affordability. This is one about, making downtown more walkable. And you have people who care about these issues get together and just talk publicly like this and begin to make that exact plan. Because what I'd like to do is have a plan by the time we're actually elected and have a new administration going in there that it's the result, like the campaign is the fact finding for what the actual administration would be. Of course, I've got opinions, but I know that people want to support an agenda that they feel like they were a part of creating, which is why I ask so many questions, because I want to know confidently that if I win, that I have the opportunity to go in there and say, well, I went and talked to Miss Judy and she said this and this. And a lot of people, have those opinions. It's not just one person. And so what are the things we could hope to accomplish in 100 days? We are looking at a city manager search process. We probably won't finish that in 100 days, but I think that we would have a clear plan about how that first year is going to go. I think that there will be some amount of having staff be trying to figure out what that transition plan actually looks like, but I would want to have the public know by the end of that 100 days, this is what the next 3 years are going to look like. They're going to value public input. The city's going to be better at communicating, but most importantly, the city's going to be better at listening. Because I think that the city's done a perfectly good job of communicating over the years. One way, the issue is that the city doesn't feel like it's very good about actually involving that feedback or actually doing any of the thing that the public is asking for.
Max, sound good.
Yeah.
Sound good. How old are you?
36.
Okay, you look young. You look young. But Max, I want to thank you for giving time and your heart to the Real Talk with Judy show listeners. I want to thank you. I believe that you have given us a peep into what your heart is for the city. And I want to thank you so very much for taking time to come onto this show to do that. And to the audience, I really want to how much time? Take a minute and talk to the audience.
Yeah.
And do a final wrap up.
Yeah.
Matt, I want you to do that, Max.
Yeah, thank you. About a year ago, when we filed for this race, we decided to run a different kind of campaign. A campaign that wasn't all in the nasty, negative personal attacks, one that asked us all to rise to a higher purpose. That higher purpose is in all of our shared values around getting paid more, around fighting for working people, around actually being able to address some of the longstanding issues in some of the historic Black neighborhoods and some of the downtown, and actually be able to finally create walkable areas of town that don't feel like gentrification, that don't feel like it's this effort to just slowly be kicking people out of the county, and to meaningfully change the way that the city of Tallahassee listens. One of the things I've heard throughout the course of this campaign is people tell me that if you had a good idea, why would you bring it to City Hall? Why, that's where ideas go to not happen. And we shouldn't have the city feel like that. You should feel like you can have an idea, whether that idea is a summer camp, whether that idea is how the city could fill a pothole better, or what we should do at the airport, or how to reduce your utility bills. You should feel like you have a city government that will take you seriously, that will think about your ideas and will include you in the future around these ideas, and not try to stop you from being involved in your hometown or in the city that you live in. We should be having the overall arching belief should be having as many people involved in the planning of our city as possible, because that's how we know we'll be successful.
Max, thank you. And that closing was great. Thank you so very much, Max. And as far as I can tell, you have run a good campaign. As far as I can tell, now I haven't heard you that I know of going off on anybody or really great. I mean, as far as I know now. But I want you to continue your race. Y'all go out there, find out. The primary is August 18th.
August 18th.
August 18th. You can vote, but you can vote before that now, starting August 6th, I believe. Is that right?
I think it's August 6th or 8th.
Okay, August 6th to go ahead and vote.
Yeah, about 10 days.
Do not allow anybody to make you believe that your voice doesn't carry weight. That's a lie straight from the basement of limitation. Because if your voice didn't carry weight, they wouldn't work so hard to silence it. I've had two great men on this show today. Mr. Tom D, that's what I'm going to call him, Mr. Tom D and Mr. Max Hurley. Two very great men. Both of them are running for Commission Seat 3, Tallahassee City Commission Seat 3. And it was a pleasure having you on here, pleasure hearing your heart. Tom, it was a pleasure having you on here. Pleasure hearing your heart. Next week we will have 2 more candidates. I forgot who they are, but we want you to hear them next week. And they're going to give you their why, their vision, and what they would like to see happen in the first 100 days if they are elected. And guess what? That's real talk.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy.